84 degrees, a bit hazy, but the sun has just tucked away. From Witter Field in Wisconsin, Rapids, Wisconsin. Welcome everyone, Zach Linfield here with you. So glad to have you along as we get you ready for game one of a two-game series between the Mallards and the Rafters. Madison swept by Lakeshore during the two-day stop in Mequon and now have a chance to hit the reset button after a 3-1 start. They visit a Rafters team that has started 2023 drastically different than they began a year ago. The Mallards' right-handed ace, Derek Salata, gets the ball in his second start of the season as he duels with Jackson Wentworth, who makes his debut for Wisconsin Rapids. Let's meet our starting lineups tonight from Witter Field. First for the Madison Mallards, and Donnie Scott leading off, making his debut, and batting is the DH, Jake Holcroft. Batting second, and at third base, Keenan Taylor. Batting third, playing second base, Jackson Chatterton. Batting cleanup, center fielder Isaiah Jackson. Batting fifth, getting a bump up in the order today, playing right field, Corbin Dickerson. In the sixth hole, first baseman Jake Goolsby. Batting seventh and doing the catching, Kenyon Brown. Batting eighth and playing shortstop, Mikey Kluska. Batting ninth and rounding out the order for Donnie Scott, making his debut, freshman left fielder Michael Gupton. Towing the rubber for Madison will be the right-hander from Illinois State, Derek Salata. Here's how Kirk Schreider drew in his starting nine today for Wisconsin Rapids. Leading off, DH Brandon Rogers. Batting second, center fielder Ty Johnson. Batting third and playing over at first base, Jake Boussier. Batting fourth, shortstop Chris Conniff. Batting fifth and out in left, Matt Olive. Batting sixth, the second baseman Shane Taylor. Batting seventh and at the hot corner, Kyle Carlson. Batting eighth and putting the fingers down, Alex Duffy. And in the nine hole for the Rafters, right fielder Logan Hugo. The Rafters defense has taken the field. We are set to play as the Mallards get set to face off against the redshirt freshman from Kansas State, Jackson Wentworth. Holcroft digs in for the first time this season. Wentworth into the glove, into his motion, and the first pitch fastball is bounced towards second. Making his way back, Taylor, an easy flip to first base. One pitch, one out, makes for a quick start from Witter Field. First pitch at 4:03. The first of 12 games this season between the Mallards and the Rafters. The Mallards look to get back in the win column after being swept by Lakeshore on Thursday and Friday nights at Capco Park, while the Rafters enter fresh off a 1-0 shutout of Fond du Lac last night. Keenan Taylor from the right side. First pitch to him, curveball, bends in perfectly to make it 0-1. Madison has lost 10 straight games here at Witter Field. The last time the Mallards came here and won a ball game was all the way back on June 11th, 2021. There's a breaking ball by the swinging bat of Taylor. A quick 0-2 count from Wentworth. Keenan on the season, 6 of 21. He was hit by a pitch 2 different times in the loss last night. On the ground, back up the middle. Takes a ricochet off the mound. The shortstop, Conniff, makes a strong throw to Boussier. And there are a quick 2 outs in the away first inning from Witter Field. Just underway here in Wisconsin Rapids. New broadcast booth for the season for away broadcasters. Typically up in the broadcast booth that hovers above the overhang, above the grandstands. And now right in here amongst the Rafters fans, right behind home plate, about 8 rows up. First pitch fastball misses low to Jackson Chatterton. He's been a hot bat early in the season for Donnie Scott. He swings and misses on the 1-0 pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike in the count with Jackson. 8 of 23 started down at the 5 hole. And defensively playing his third position in 3 days now for Donnie Scott. On 1-1, Chatterton takes fastball away. Umpiring crew this afternoon here in Wisconsin Rapids. Behind the plate, crew chief Sean McKinney. Parker Powell at first base, and Justin Wilson is over at third. 2 away, top of the first inning, no score. Wisconsin Rapids and Madison. Here's a line drive into deep right center field. That's going to get down and die in the grass. Chatterton will take off for second. The throw from the center fielder Johnson is not there in time as Chatterton, a head-first slide into second base. He has been so good for the Mallards since being pushed up in the order. He singled yesterday. Day before that, hit a sacrifice fly. The day before that, he singled, but he has one of the higher slugging percentage numbers for the Mallards early this season, and a player that the Mallards expect to have high slugging is the man at the plate, left-handed bat Isaiah Jackson. First pitch to Isaiah is a fastball pushed towards the left side. Fielded cleanly by Carlson. The throw to first is a little high, but caught by Bussier. And the Mallards' second baseman Chatterton is stranded on second after a 2-out double. We will get to meet the Mallards defense and the Wisconsin Rapids offense once again when we return on your home of Madison Mallards baseball. No score, bottom of the first inning from Wisconsin Rapids here at historic Witter Field. Starting lineup one more time for the Rafters. Top third of the DH Rogers, center fielder Johnson, first baseman Bussier, middle third Conniff, Olive, and Taylor. And rounding out the order in the bottom three, Carlson, Duffy, Hugo. That starting lineup gets set to face off against the 22-year-old right-hander from Illinois State, Derek Salata. Mallards defense left to right across the outfield, Gupton, Isaiah Jackson, and Dickerson. At the corners of the infield, Taylor at third, Goolsby over at first base, Kluska and Chatterton playing at short and at second. Doing the catching for the fifth game this season and second night in a row, Canyon Brown. He'll catch this tall Redbird from Illinois State, 5 years in normal with ISU for Derek Salata. He quickly made his first impression on Monday, and it was a great first impression. 5 innings, no hits. He walked 2, struck out 4, only threw 65 pitches. He was kept on a pitch count of around 50 to 70. Donnie Scott and Sean Brown said. Brandon Rogers digs in. First pitch from Salata is a fastball swung on and missed outside corner for strike 1. Don't think we could use the word dominant any better than using it with Derek Salata last Monday. A pinpointed fastball into the corner for strike 2. Rogers waves the bat out twice towards Salata. Rests the bat on the right shoulder. On 0-2, a fastball just misses the outside corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes. As mentioned, Redbird through and through at Illinois State. Has spent 5 collegiate seasons playing in normal. On 1-2, a fastball for a called strike 3. He hit the outside corner. And that was one impressive thing for Salata last week, was his ability to live away. He only struck out 4, but he induced plenty of weak contact in the Mallards defense, although not playing great on the defensive side so far through the season. A league worst 16 errors. They were behind Salata in the right way last Monday. Here's Ty Johnson from the left side. First pitch to him is a fastball up in the zone, but called for a strike by home plate umpire Sean McKinney. Derek pitched in a remarkable 26 games back in 2021 as a redshirt sophomore. Yeah, you heard that number right, 26. Fastball just in off the plate on the lefty. A ball and a strike, 1 away, no score. Bottom of the first inning from Witter Field. Derek was pretty much a late game 1 to 2 innings and then pulled out, but was used multiple times in a series that season, 11 times. A weak ground ball. Goolsby at first base will field it between his legs, stomp on the bag with his right foot. And much like the Wisconsin Rapids defensive first inning, Derek Salata making quick work of the Rafters in the home first. So here is Jack Boussier batting in the 3-hole today for Wisconsin Rapids. Fastball, half a ball's width off the plate outside of the K zone for McKinney, the home plate umpire. Canyon Brown does a really good job of framing pitches, especially on the outside part of the plate. Line drive down the first base line that is foul by about 15 feet. Salata fell off his landing spots. And awkwardly enough, the Mallards yesterday, in their loss at Lakeshore, starting pitcher Tommy Meyer had a hard time on the mound. He's a ground ball towards second. Chatterton cleans, fields it, throws to first base, and Salata, a 1-2-3 bottom of the first inning here from Wisconsin Rapids. No score. The Mallards coming to the plate in the top of the second inning. Coming up next on your home of Madison Mallards baseball. Top of the second inning, no score from Wisconsin Rapids at Witter Field. Jackson Wentworth back to work. Corbin Dickerson digs in. First pitch curveball misses up and in. Benz Dickerson out of the way. One hit so far in the ball game for Madison. In the first inning, a stand-up double from Jackson Chatterton. Second pitch in the count is a line drive into center field. Back goes the center fielder Johnson. That's over his head into the wall. In a one-hop at Dickerson will run into second base with a stand-up leadoff double. 2 doubles in 2 nights for Dickerson. Leads off the top of the second in the right way for Madison. I will tell you what, yesterday at Capco Park, that would have been a caught ball with how hard the wind was blowing in from center field off Lake Michigan. And today the wind blowing relatively hard again, this time towards the first baseline, but Dickerson with a really good swing puts it over the head of Ty Johnson in center, and here comes Jake Goolsby with an RBI chance. First pitch fastball up in the corner for strike one. Wentworth lost his cap. We'll have to replace it. The Mallards in their road blues with the cream hats today. Wisconsin Rapids in their typical home white uniforms reading Rafters in their font across the chest. Black sleeves with some red trim. Cranberry red on 0-1. Goolsby fouls it off to the backstop. And it's a quick 0-2 count. Wentworth, 3 groundouts in the top of the first inning. 1 to the second baseman, 1 to the third baseman, and 1 to the shortstop. Two strikes in the count with Jake Goolsby, batting .280 so far in the season. And he swings and misses on a changeup on the outside part of the plate. Big out to get for Jackson Wentworth. And here comes Canyon Brown, who's had a pretty good start to his campaign. 5 of 18. He's been a gap shooter. 2 RBIs. He has struck out 5 times, but he's had a really good approach at the plate. He's took his time. finds a pitch that he likes. He likes to work opposite field, and if he pushes opposite field here, it'll likely score Dickerson. First pitch curveball into the outer corner for strike one against the Mallards catcher. Game number 7 of 72 for the Mallards. Canyon Brown has now caught 5 as he starts behind the dish this afternoon. There's a breaking ball that misses away, bounces away from the catcher Duffy, and Dickerson is able to scamper into third base. So pretty much any contact now to the right side of the field will score Corbin. Wentworth comes set just above the belt on 1-1, fires home, fastball high. The Mallards are 3-1 so far this season. When they score first, they are winless when their opposition scores first. On 2-1, Brown swings and puts it in the air right field. A long run for Hugo down in the corner, and that will sail way foul. And if you're Hugo over in the corner, you just want to let that one fall anyway, because you've got to turn 180 degrees and then sauce the ball back into the infield and hope that Corbin Dickerson has a tough read on the sacrifice fly. Nonetheless, it falls harmlessly foul for both sides. 0-0 score, top of the second inning. Corbin Dickerson on second base on 2-2. Canyon takes away a curveball that was into the zone for strike one. And Wentworth, arm across the body on that curveball, loads up the count 3-2. Canyon waits on the full count pitch. There it is. It goes through the legs of the catcher Duffy. Here comes Dickerson. He will score. Canyon Brown took ball 4. He will jog into first base. He checked his swing. There was no appeal down to the first base umpire, Parker Powell. And on 2 wild pitches after the stand-up double for Corbin, he is in to score, and the Mallards, they have a 1-0 lead here in the second inning. It was a curveball that went right between the old wickets of Duffy, the catcher. That'll bring up Mikey Kluska, who is hitless through 7 ABs. First pitch breaking ball misses up and away. Still a base runner on for Madison. Canyon Brown just walked. Corbin Dickerson came in to score on the second wild pitch. On 1-0, Brown takes off. Kluska swings and fouls it up and over the overhang. Even 1-1 counts. Wisconsin Rapids and Madison. One ball, one strike. The pitch home to Kluska. There's a wave and a miss on a beautiful changeup on the outside part of the plate to the right-handed bat from Richmond. Mikey nearly had a home run yesterday at Capco Park, and the wind just killed the ball. And Daniel Pasella, the left fielder for the Chinooks, made just a fantastic sliding catch in the deepest left corner down the line. It's just a touch more shallow here at Witter Field. 315 in the corners, 366 straight away. On 1-2, Kluska swings and misses on that same changeup outside corner, and there are 2 away in the Mallards' second inning. Second strikeout now for Jackson Wentworth, and yesterday we talked about the anticipated debut for Isaiah Jackson, and now the potentially even more anticipated debut for the Flash, Michael Gupton. Freshman from Raleigh, North Carolina at NC State, the fastest player in baseball. First pitch breaking ball is into the strike zone. The Mallards were set to leave at 10:30 a.m. this morning. Gupton, a little bit of miscommunication with what time the bus was leaving, showed up at 10:29 and he sprinted over to the bus. Canyon Brown is back in safely to first, standing up for a second time in the last 2 ABs. It's picked off toward one time in the AB with Kluska. And now one's with Gupton on 0-1. A swing and a miss. A curveball into the outside corner. And Mike didn't play that much at NC State this year. He was used as a pinch runner. And the reason for that, he runs a 5.96 60-yard dash. On 0-2, a bouncing ball towards third base. They're going to try and get the easy one at second, and they will do so. Probably a smart decision because Michael Gupton was racing down the first baseline. The Mallards pick up the lead here in the second inning. 1-0 Madison on your home of Madison Mallards baseball. Tonight's game is brought to you in part by 5 Tool Ale, the official beer of the Northwoods League. Look for 5 Tool Ale at select league ballparks or find 5 Tool Ale at festival food stores in Wisconsin. Remember to drink responsibly, designate a driver, and get home safe. Derek Salata back to work for the Mallards, leading 1-0, bottom of the second inning from Witter Field. First pitch from Salata, bounced foul down the first baseline. Left-handed swinging Chris Conniff leads off. Only returner in the order for the Rafters here tonight as he bounces another weak ground ball foul. Batted .250 in 43 games for Wisconsin Rapids a summer ago. The historic 57-15 season on 0-2, a swing and a miss. And it's actually tapped foul. He barely got a piece of it. Canyon Brown unable to glove it. I mean, he just got a piece of the curveball from Salata. 2 strikes in the count. Nobody away. Bottom of the second inning. On 0-2. Bouncing ball towards first base. It's a fair ball. Past Goolsby at first base down the right field line. It'll go into foul territory. Dickerson will pick it up and throw it in. It'll come all the way into second base where Mikey Kluska gloves it. And there is the first hit allowed this season from Derek Salata. 6 innings into the year, he finally allows a base hit, and it's a stand-up double on a play that Jake Goolsby likely should have had over at first. So here is Matt Olive now. Batting from the right side, a slightly offset stance. Big leadoff for Conniff at second base. A fly ball down the right field line. And Dickerson will watch it fly out of play. There is a lot of space between both foul lines and the chain link fence down the right and left field sides. Chris Conniff, the base runner at second base. A leadoff double here in the bottom of the second inning, just like Corbin Dickerson for the Mallards in the top half. Big leadoff for Conniff back at second base. Salata disengages. Three years at Valparaiso for Matt Olive. Work to do here for Derek Salata in the second. On 0-1, there's a curveball that is just flipped into the zone on a beautiful pitch from Derek, and that's a lot of what we saw on Monday in the Mallards home opener against Wausau. He was able to locate every single one of his pitches, throw them for strikes, and draw contact. The 2-strike pitch. There's a curveball away, just tapped foul for Matt Olive. So back-to-back batters now that Salata has had 2 strikes in the counts. And a foul ball just barely get away from Canyon Brown. Grass and dirt. A slight change from yesterday where the Mallards played on turf the last 2 nights, actually at Capco Park. Breaking ball off the plate. Olive thought about it, but lays off 1-2. Average for Olive down at just 63 points, 0.63 in the early going. Salata looking to dispose of him here. It's a swing and a miss on a breaking ball. Canyon Brown tags out Olive. And there's the first out in the frame for Salata. And his second K of the day. Derek is not a massive strikeout pitcher. He mentioned in the first inning that he pitches well to contact and he trusts his defense behind him, and he's had 5 days off now and he's back on the mound, and he's had to see the Mallards kick the ball around quite a bit. Here's Shane Taylor from the left side. First pitch from Salata, fastball low, blocked nicely by Canyon behind the plate. Bottom of the second inning, Mallards 1-0. Corbin Dickerson doubled, stand-up style over the head of the batter right now, Shane Taylor in center field. And then completed his way around the base paths with 2 wild pitches, including ball 4 on Canyon Brown, which skipped away from the catcher. Salata's 1-0. Swing and a line drive deep into left center field. That sends Dickerson back to the track, to the wall. It'll one-hop the wall. We'll have a tie ball game as Gupton relays it in. A stand-up double for Shane Taylor. And just like that, we're tied 1-1 in the bottom of the second inning. So now the final third in the order, Kyle Carlson will come up. All tied at 1 apiece. Derek Salata's first earned run of the season. First pitch to Carlson is a beauty of a curveball into the outside corner, called for strike 1. Wearing number 27 in the home white uniforms for Wisconsin Rapids. Waves the bat out 1 time towards Derek Salata, rests the bat, now wiggles it slightly across his right shoulder. On 0-1, there's a curveball again, just a bit low. Canyon Brown hesitant to throw the ball back to his pitcher. Carlson digs in a very even stance, about a foot distance between his left and right foot from the right side. A 2-tone bat. Tan on the barrel, black on the end. Dancing over at second base is Taylor. The pitch home from Salata. There's that curveball again. He gets on top of the ball, rips it down, and this time it's for a called strike, 1-2. See if he goes back to it. He's pretty reluctant to throw it 2 times in a row. And on 1-2 here, it's a fastball just off the plate, ball 2. A fresh 1-1 game. Mallards score 1 in the top half of the second inning. Now the Rafters, 1 here in the bottom of the second. Salata works first base side of the rubber. Looks back towards second base. Delivers the 2-2. Curveball on the ground towards short. Charging Kluska. He bobbles it. Will not make a throw to first. And there is the first Mallards error. Number 17 on the season for Madison. It just is not getting better for this defense. Mikey Kluska is a good glove. At shortstop, had trouble with that one, did not field it cleanly. not doing themselves any favors through the first 7 games of this season. First pitch to Alex Duffy, a line drive foul down the left field line. It's going to be pretty difficult for this team to replicate the performance on Tuesday where they committed 6. Well, you certainly don't want to dare the team to do that. Committed 2 more last night, 3 the night before that. Have yet to play a perfect game. On 0-1, a curveball in there for a strike. Ooh, Alex Duffy didn't like the call. It looked low from up here. Sean McKinney, the crew chief of this staff. McKinney, Parker Powell, and Justin Wilson. Puts Salata ahead 0-2. Looks back towards second. Raises the left knee. Fires home. There's a line drive into right field. That'll bounce on one hop in front of Dickerson. He will throw all the way to the plate. It'll bounce over the head of Canyon Brown. Derek Salata, with the baseball IQ, was there to back up the catcher. It bounced right off the lip of the grass. And the bases are loaded full of Rafters in the bottom of the second inning. Logan Hugo digs in. The Rafters right fielder today. Taylor on third. Carlson on second. Duffy on first. First pitch to Hugo. Fastball off the plate, ball 1. The Mallards saw the Lakeshore Chinooks load the bases against them multiple times on Thursday and Friday. On 1-0, Salata flips in the curveball. He's just stealing strikes with that pitch here in the first 2 innings. Not a big walk pitcher either, not a big strikeout guy. He pitches to contact. That's been the issue here in the second. Curveball popped up behind home plate. Will make it 1-2. He's got 2 strikeouts already. He struck out 4 in his first performance last Monday. Mallards plan to have him for nearly the entirety of the summer if he can stay healthy and give the team good innings. On 1-2 to Hugo. A fastball misses high. He elevated it. 3 hits in this inning for the Rafters. First 3 hits of the season allowed by Derek Salata here in his second start. 2-2 on its way. It's swung on and lined back to the backstop. Bat Boy behind home plate makes a nice grab. Waited for it to roll all the way down the netting. Hit the lip of the netting and then came down to the young man on 2-2. Salata comes set just below the chin. The pitch is a swing and a miss. A big out for Derek Salata with the bases still juiced. Full of Rafters here in the bottom of the second inning. 1-1 tie. But here comes the top of the order and Brandon Rogers. So here is the leadoff man, Rogers, taking fastball up and away. Salata came right at him in the first inning. Second at bat in as many frames for Rogers. 1-0 pitch. There's a curveball. It's driven into center field. That sends Isaiah Jackson back, and he will make the catch in the deepest part of right center field, just in front of the warning track. So Salata leaves them loaded. We stick around at a 1-1 ball game, all tied up from Witter Field here in Wisconsin Rapids on your home of Madison Mallards baseball. Hey fans, the Northwoods League is giving you the opportunity to play NWL Lucky 7 every day for your shot at $100,000. You can find the NWL Lucky 7 game at northwoodsleague.com under the Gaming tab. Answer 7 questions correctly about action in the Northwoods League, and you could win $100,000. The game is free to play. You must be at least 21. Terms and conditions apply. Jake Holcomb on the ground towards the left side. Carlson fields. Long throw to first, and Holcomb is safe. The ball was dropped by the first baseman, Bussier. I think he tried to stretch just a bit too far. Holcomb would have been safe regardless. And that'll bring up Keenan Taylor. And rightfully so, they will give Holcroft a leadoff single. He was flying down the line. I think the grass just made the ball ricochet around a bit in front of Carlson. First pitch to Taylor is on the ground foul towards the Rafters dugout down the third base side. Three hits apiece, one Mallards error, 1-1 ball game. Top of the third inning, Witter Field. On 0-1, the pitch to Taylor is bounced into the catcher, Duffy. He scoops it up nicely. Holcroft back into first base. An infield single marks the first hit of his Mallards career. Making his debut this afternoon, he's 1 for 2. Taylor bounced out to shortstop his first time up on 1-1, a line drive into right field. It's going to bounce in front of the right fielder, Hugo. And 2 Mallard singles lead off the top of the third. And Jackson Chatterton, one of the hottest bats for the Mallards, coming to the plate.
Mallards batter, the second baseman, number 3, Jackson Chatterton.
Not a ton of action this season for Jackson Wentworth. At Kansas State, his ERA was pretty inflated during his redshirt freshman year. Jackson Chatterton pushes a bunt down the third base line, and it just rolls foul. It rode the lip of the grass, which is pretty heavy here from Witter Field. And once it turned across the left side, the left-handed batter for the Mallards, a switch hitter Jackson Chatterton, bunting from the left side in this at-bat against the right-hander Wentworth. Pushed it just a little too hard, and it stayed on the left side of the lip. If it stayed on the right side, it was staying fair for an infield single. Nonetheless, 0-1, 2 runners still on base, nobody out. And a breaking ball will bounce away from the catcher. Duffy sliding into third. Holcroft, he's called safe, and the Rafters dugout does not like the call from the third base umpire, Justin Wilson. And if Holcroft got in there, it was likely because of a swim move with his right arm. It looked like Duffy and Carlson would have had him for sure. And some barking from the Rafters dugout down the third base side, and that's a big call in this ball game. Still a 1-1 tie. Runners on the corners. Taylor stayed put on 1-1. Chatterton, elevated fastball. Early in the season. Derek Salata making his second start. Uncharacteristic to see any base hits. He allowed 3 in the bottom of the second inning. Chatterton, he shuffled out of the way to avoid a fastball. And it was called for a strike in on the shins of the lefty. He looks back towards the dugout to ask his teammates, where was that one yesterday? Terry Kondich had an inconsistent strike zone. On 2-2, Chatterton swings and misses, and he's down on strikes. So the potential for the first RBI for Isaiah Jackson.
Now batting the field batter, the center fielder, number 2, Isaiah Jackson.
Third strikeout for Wentworth. Another lefty in the Mallards order bats here. First pitch to him is a breaking ball that bounces away from Duffy. Here comes Holcroft. He is in standing up, and the Mallards have a 2-1 lead as Taylor's into second base. Boy, aggressive base running from Jake Holcroft here in the third. Still a chance for Isaiah to drive in. The base runner at second base, Taylor. He takes fastball up and in for a called strike. In his debut a day ago, 0 for 3 with the walk. 1 ball, 1 strike. The pitch to Isaiah is a high drive into right field that sends the right fielder Hugo back. He'll look up and it's gone. Isaiah Jackson, a 2-run home run to give the Mallards a 4-1 lead in the top of the third inning. First Mallards bomb of the season goes to the freshman from Arizona State. He got a fastball that he liked across the middle of the plate, and he turned on it in the best way possible. It took 7 games, but the Mallards have their first long ball of the year. First pitch fastball into the dirt to Corbin Dickerson. Second pitch is a high drive into right center field. This sends Johnson back. This one's got a chance. It's gone! Off the pole in right center field. Back-to-back blast for the Mallards. The first one for Corbin Dickerson. Donnie Scott down at third base can only help to smile because Corbin Dickerson, his quote to me before the game was, "You want to see the first home run of the year?" He said, "I'm going to hit one today," and in fact he does, to right center, and the Mallards hold a 5-1 lead here in the third. The Mallards went back-to-back just one time a season ago. That was down in Kokomo in the earliest part of June. Jake Goolsby takes a fastball away. On 1-0 from Wentworth, delivers home a swing and a miss on a beauty of a slider. It was a team that did not hit for much power a season ago, and they're slugging well here in the third inning as Goolsby ropes a ground ball foul down the first baseline. Falls behind 1-2. It's got to be a good feeling for Donnie Scott, Nick Fazio, the hitting coaches on this team. Harrison Heffley has yet to arrive from SEMO. On 1-2, up and in, Goolsby by his aqua blue jersey. The left-handed batter bends out of the way. 88 on the gun from Wentworth. Here's a foul ball from Jake Goolsby to keep it at 2-2. 5-1 Mallards lead, top of the third inning. A wild pitch score, Jake Holcroft. A single by Keenan Taylor. Then back-to-back home runs from Isaiah Jackson and Corbin Dickerson. Here's a line drive down the first base line. That's a fair ball into the corner. Jake Goolsby will round first. Nick Fazio will send him to second. The right fielder Hugo delivers a strong throw into second, but Goolsby is in sliding safe. The Mallards slugging all over the place here in the top of the third. 5 hits in the inning for the Northsiders.
Number 19, Canyon Brown. Let's go Rafters. Get it out.
So Canyon Brown will dig in for Madison. Let's see if he can add to the fun. 7 hits here in the first 3 innings. First pitch to Canyon, elevated fastball for ball 1. Mallards already closing in on their hit total from the Lakeshore series. They had 9 in 2 games over in Mequon, just north of Milwaukee. They've got 7 here through 2 1/3. On 1-0, beautiful fastball, called for a strike into the outer corner. One out in the inning. Jackson Chatterton struck out. Isaiah Jackson went yard right after that. There's a big wave and a miss on what likely would have been called a ball on a sweeper off the arm of Wentworth. That's a good pitch, though, to make the Mallards catcher, Canyon Brown, think about it, swing at it to make the count 1-2. And here's the 1-2 on the ground, sharply past Donnie Scott at third base. A good first 2 innings for Jackson Wentworth. He allowed 2 doubles in the first 2 frames, but was able to strike out 2 and avoid any damage besides the wild pitch for a run, staying at second base on a bouncing ball that hit the catcher Duffy about 3 feet in front of home plate, just spiked the curveball, and the count is full with Canyon Brown. Canyon waves the bat out twice, waits on the full count pitch, and it's away. And excuse me, scoreboard playing tricks on us here. 3 balls, 2 strikes with Canyon Brown. Mallards 5-1, top of the third. Couple of Mallards fans here in attendance today, as heard by the duck call. On 3-2, Canyon skies one foul down the right field line. Long-time host family for the Mallards. The Barnsleys in attendance, about 3 rows in front of where I'm sitting here from Witter Field. Host families down in Madison, a big part of what the Mallards do. They play a massive role on 3-2. Cannon back up the middle, past the glove of Wentworth. Fielding to his left is Conniff. He'll miss it. Heading around third, trying to score is Goolsby. There will be no throw from the center fielder Johnson, and the Mallards make it a 6-1 lead in the top of the third. And now the Ducks are piling it on Wisconsin Rapids. And I'll tell you what, being the broadcaster for the second year for this team after seeing them go 0-12 against the same opponent last season. First pitch on the ground to the right side off the bat of Kluska. Fielding to his left, Taylor makes a strong throw. The first 2 away. Runner on second base, Canyon Brown. It's incredibly hard to beat a team 2 times in a row, especially in the sport of baseball. But when you beat a team 14 times in a row, it's a much different animal. Gupton takes a called strike 1. The last time the Mallards came here to Witter Field and won a ball game was all the way back on June 11th of 2021. Nearly 2 whole years ago. Big lead off of second base. There's a line drive through the gap on the left side. Gupton will likely drive home Brown. The throw in from the left fielder Olive is not in time, and Michael Gupton adds to the fun in the third. That almost hit Canyon Brown on a line as he was stealing from second to third base. It's 7-1 Mallards. And a mound visit from the catcher Duffy out to Wentworth. Home plate umpire McKinney asks for a reset of the pitch clock, and now the man who led it off for the Mallards here in the third inning, Jake Holcroft. An infield base hit got this fun started for the Northsiders. First pitch to him. Hits the outside corner on a changeup for strike 1. So now Madison has tied their hit total from the Lakeshore series at 9. Gupton on the move. It's a foul ball. He was on his way the entire time, still slides. And we figure to see a lot of that this season for Michael Gupton. NC State not quite done playing ball yet, but he made his way up here to Madison. That 5.9660 time on 0-2, swinging a foul ball off the bat of Holcroft, and that got a piece of A fan here from Witter Field. Seems to be okay. And the young man got the ball. Always a good sign to see him smiling after being hit by a foul ball and then getting the ball. On 0-2, Holcroft takes fastball high. One big thing for Kirk Schreider for Wisconsin Rapids is allowing his pitchers to pitch through difficulty. That's what he's doing with Wentworth here. Holcroft just taps off the 1-2 again. Michael Gupton was on the move from first to second base. And the Flash has to return to first. Not only is he fast, running-wise, he's got one of the fastest swing speeds in college baseball as well. On 1-2, Holcroft spoils off another one. He is just flipping the bat out. The bat boy tried to make a diving catch, and Jake Holcroft is even smiling at the young man wearing the BB jersey for Wisconsin Rapids. Gets some high fives from the Rafters dugout. Holcroft waits on the 1-2. The pitch home. He lines it down the third base line, and that will land in the Wisconsin Rapids bullpen. (7-1) Mallards lead, top of the third inning. They have scored 6. Touchdown without the extra point here in the frame. A curveball is way outside from Jackson Wentworth out of Kansas State, struggling here in the third inning. The Mallards frame so far. Holcroft led off. Single, strikeout of Chatterton. Home run, double, single, ground out, single. 2-2 coming to Holcroft. There's a swing and a drive. Right field off the bat of the lefty. That will hit off the wall on one hop. Coming into third is Gupton. He's going to have to stop there. Holcroft slides in head first with a double. And the Mallards here in the top of the third inning have ignited offensively. Their 4th extra base hit. And Michael Gupton was blasting around the base pads. And he is just so fun to watch while he runs around the pillows. And Holcroft is not slow either. He was into second base with a lot of speed. The Mallards have hit around for the first time this season. And now Keenan Taylor gets another shot.
We'd like to wish a happy 11th birthdays to Declan and Ryland.
It's a mound visit for Wisconsin Rapids. Brian Dyer is out there to check on Jackson Wentworth. He figures to get him out of this inning. There is 2 outs, and the Purdue Boilermaker Keenan Taylor will step in for the Mallards, looking to continue what has been the longest offensive inning of the season for the Madison Mallards. So a runner on second and a runner on third. A pass ball would certainly score Gupton. First pitch to Taylor is a swing and a miss. Fastball into the outside corner, placed perfectly by Wentworth. He comes set just above the belt, and he will disengage. He'll step off the mound one time. That's your one disengagement for this at-bat with Keenan Taylor. He singled earlier in this inning on 0-1. Takes a fastball up and in, just past the elbow guard. Taylor bats slightly away from the chalk. In the right-handed batter's box, away from the plate, on 1-1. Swings and misses on a slider away. It's 1-2. He'll readjust the dirt in the box. He was the first Mallard today in the batting cages, getting off swings as the rest of the team was eating the pregame meal. He said, I don't need it. And his swing paid off earlier in the frame. As the second batter in the inning, he came around to score on the Isaiah Jackson homer. On 1-2 is swinging a foul tip off the glove. Jackson Wentworth figures to be a really good piece of this Rafters rotation, as this is his first start of the season. Bit windy now from Witter Field as the wind blows down the first base line. 1-2 pitch coming to Taylor. Swung and a pop-up towards the right side. Boussier is under it, locates it, and catches it in the palm of his glove. The Mallards plate 6 runs in the top of the third inning to make it 7-1. The first real offensive explosion for this team this season. 7-1 Madison, here on your home of Madison Mallards baseball.
Yet starting off the bottom of the third for your Rafters, Ty Johnson, the center fielder, number 2.
7-1 Mallards, bottom of the third inning from historic Witter Field in Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin, a place where the Mallards just could not win a season ago. They have lost 10 consecutive here at Witter Field. They lead it by 6 in the top of the third inning. First pitch to Ty Johnson is a called strike off the right arm of starting pitcher Derek Salata. 11 Mallards come to the plate in the top of the third as they score 6. A breaking ball off the plate makes it 1-1. 4 singles, 2 doubles, 2 home runs push the Mallards ahead to the 7-1 score on 1-1. There's that flipped breaking ball again from Derek Salata. 2-3-4 for the Rafters. Ty Johnson, Jack Boussier, Chris Conniff. Swing and a check swing from Ty Johnson. The appeal down to third base is no good for Justin Wilson. Ten hits on the ball game now for Madison. 2-2 is on the ground towards first. A tough hop for Goolsby. He fields it just into his right chest area. And he's able to stomp on the first base bag to put the first out away here in the bottom of the third inning. Second time today that Jake Goolsby has an unassisted ground out play at first base to put away Ty Johnson. First baseman Boussier steps in. And Salata pinpoint strike one. He threw 5 hitless innings on opening night last Monday. Over 5 innings, he only threw 65 pitches. Second pitch in this count misses away. 1 ball, 1 strike, bottom of the third inning, 7-1 Mallards. A good rebound after being swept by Lakeshore. On the ground, on a curveball, Keenan Taylor fields to his left, throws to first, and it's a beauty of a throw across the diamond to put down Boussier. That was something the Mallards, during BP today, they don't take infield. During BP, as Chris Conniff steps in, they were really working on figuring out the lip of the grass. The Mallards have 1 error so far in this ball game as Salata sees a pop-up. Shortstop Kluska being called off by Keenan Taylor, who makes the catch over at his shortstop position. And Kluska will push away Taylor, say, get out of my spot. It's a quick bottom of the third. We'll bookmark that conversation when we come back on your home of Madison Mallards Baseball.
Not very.
7-1 Madison, top of the fourth inning after the long top of the third. Playing well behind Derek Salata today. New arm for Wisconsin Rapids here in the top of the fourth inning is the righty Ryan Kaiser out of the University of San Diego. 3-4-5 for Madison in the away fourth, leading 7-1. First pitch to Jackson Chatterton from Kaiser, who comes straight over the top. Dives away on a fastball, 1-0. The Mallards had two consecutive singles to lead off the top of the third inning, and then Chatterton struck out. He takes fastball just away as he bats from the left side in at bat number 3. On 2-0, Chatterton takes fastball again. It's low and away to the lefty. All three at bats so far from the left side. He considered a push bunt just 1 inning ago in the third. And it just rolled foul. Ended up striking out on the AB. A big swing. He was going for the home run ball on 3-0, and he swung right by it. Three balls, 1 strike in the count with Chatterton. 7-1 Madison. He'll take a fastball for a called strike. He raised his arms, put the bat above his head, but a fastball just found the inside corner to fill up the count with Jackson. 1 for 2 so far today. Set at the belt, Kaiser delivers home. A fastball misses low and in, and Jackson Chatterton leads off the top of the fourth inning with a walk.
That brings the beer batter up to bat. The center fielder, number 2, Isaiah Jackson.
Kaiser at San Diego has now spent 2 seasons over in California. Wisconsin Rapids does a good job of dipping into the West Coast. Isaiah Jackson, a big swing and a miss to make it 0-1. Career record of 6-1, ERA at about 5.5. 85 total innings pitched in 2 seasons for the Toreros, including 56 2/3 his freshman season On 0-1, Isaiah bends over the plate in frustration on a fastball for a called strike to make it 0-2. He hit the first Mallards home run in the top of the third inning. Drove in 2 runs, then Corbin Dickerson followed up. They went back-to-back. On 0-2, a swing and a miss, puts down Isaiah. First strikeout for Kaiser.
Hey, your beer's half price for the rest of the inning in root beer float. Brings up number 24, the right fielder, Corbin Dickerson.
Corbin came up to me before the game here today, and I swear to you, he said, "Do you want to see the first home run of the season today?" My answer, of course, was yes. Fastball low, blocked nicely by Duffy with the runner on first. And I said, heck yeah, I want to see the first home run of the season today. He said, all right, I got you. And after doubling to the deepest part of center field, a pickoff move to first sends Chatterton diving back safely. He ends up going opposite field to right center and hits the light pole. In right center field, Chatterton on the move, a breaking ball misses outside, and a stolen bag for Jackson Chatterton on a beautiful slide into second base. The Mallards have been moving today on the base paths, but that is their first stolen bag of the day. Multiple wild pitches, multiple foul balls. Well, the runners have been trying to move on 1-1. A fastball just off the plate makes it 2 balls and 1 strike. On its way. Corbin fouls it off. 2 balls, 2 strikes in the count. Mallards lead by 6. Top of the 4th inning from Witter Field. Strong start to the day for Derek Salata. 3 hits in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Plated 1 for Wisconsin Rapids. Here comes the 2-2 again. Swinging a fly ball into right field. That sends Hugo back over towards the right field line. He will make the catch in fair territory. Chatterton will tag and head to third base.
Hey, 2 down, brings up number
2 outs in the top of the 4th inning, but a runner 90 feet away for Jake Goolsby. First time that Dickerson has been put down tonight. Goolsby tapped in on the fun in the 3rd inning with the double of his own after striking out in the 2nd. First pitch to Jake. He swings a sword past a fastball at his eyes for strike 1. Still a lot of game left. 7-1 Madison. 91 up at the eyes. Tricked Goolsby with no fadeaway to it on 0-1. There's a changeup that misses low from Kaiser. Final stat line today for Jackson Wentworth. 3 innings, 10 hits, 3 earned runs, 7 total. A walk and 3 Ks. A swing and a miss on a bouncing breaking ball. So 2 swings now for Jake Goolsby on pitches that were nowhere close to the strike zone. .72 pitches for Wentworth. On 1-2, a breaking ball just above the zone. Didn't have much break to it off the arm of Kaiser. Making his Rafters debut here today as well. Back-to-back debuts for Wisconsin Rapids pitching on 2-2. Fastball low and in past the shins. Loads up the count with Goolsby. Goolsby, then Canyon Brown. Mikey Kluska would be after Canyon. Count is full. Runner on third base, Chatterton. 7-1 Madison on 3-2. A bouncing ball towards third. A tough hop to the third baseman, Carlson. Off balance throw to first base. And that'll do it. The Mallards do not pick up a run here in the 4th inning. but they keep it at a 7-1 spread when we return on your home of Madison Mallards baseball. The Northwoods League is proud to partner with the authentic Stadium Mustard this season. For over 50 years, Stadium Mustard has been offered at stadiums, ballparks, and arenas coast to coast. And the Mallards are proud to be serving Stadium Mustard back at home at Warner Park and here at historic Witter Field in Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin. Loved by millions, Stadium Mustard. Derek Salata back to work for the Mallards. 5-6-7 for the Rafters in the bottom of the fourth inning. First pitch fastball misses just above the zone. Canyon Brown tried to frame it, bring it back into the K zone, and Matt Olive watches ball one. From the windup, Salata into his motion on 1-0, a swing and a foul ball past the overhang on the right side. 7-1 Madison on 10 hits. And the Northsiders have committed one error. One run on 3 hits so far for Wisconsin Rapids. The 1-1 pitch is a curveball off the plate. 2 balls and a strike. Derek Salata pitching to Matt Olive. 3 years now spent at Valparaiso. On 2-1, Salata's pitch is back up the middle, just past the glove of the right-hander. Kluska fields a strong throw to first base, pulls Goolsby just off the bag. And the second error committed by the Mallard shortstop today. Chris Conniff and Shane Taylor both with doubles in the second inning. A little surprised they're giving Matt Olive a base hit. If the throw would have been completed with Goolsby, it certainly would have been an out. First pitch fastball is high to Shane Taylor. And there's even some cross-up between the scoreboard and the official scoring online. 1-0 pitch in for a fastball called strike. Salata rolled 2 double plays last Monday in the 7-0 win on opening day for the Mallards. On 1-1, curveball blocked by Canyon Brown. He will keep the ball in front of him. He has been so good through his 5 games as the Mallards starting backstop. As Shane Taylor picks up his mask, hands it to the catcher, and we're back to play. 2 balls and a strike. Runner on first base, Matt Olive. Salata comes set, just above script Madison. On 2-1, he misses with breaking ball low. The 6, 7, 8 stretch in the order for Wisconsin Rapids all reached back in the second inning. 3-1 pitch is popped up on the infield. Kluska or Chatterton. Kluska makes the catch. Over on the second base side, Chatterton just puts his hands behind his back, kicks around some dirt. And Kluska, who made the catch, who had to back out of the way as Chris Conniff popped up as the third baseman, Keenan Taylor, pretty much just invaded his territory from all the way down the third base line. Yeah, Kluska had to get back into the scorebook. The first pitch on a fastball was hit over towards the Mallards dugout. And Donnie Scott, who's sitting over there, immediately stands up and walks into the dugout. He had his hat off. He tossed his hat to the ground and said, "I'm going inside the dugout." Now 0-1, a swing and a miss. Canyon Brown back to first base, trying to pick off Matt Olive. One thing remains true about this Mallards team through 7 games. They're a lot of fun, and I'll tell you what, they have got some comedians on this ball club. 0-2 coming to Carlson. Swing and a miss. Puts down Carlson with the fastball in the outside corner. 4th strikeout for Salata this afternoon.
Now batting, Alex Duffy, number 31.
Here is the catcher, Alex Duffy, batting for the Rafters. First pitch breaking ball outside. Interested to see how the role expands for Derek Salata after opening day last week. He threw 65 pitches and a hitless 5-inning performance. He unloads on 1-0. Swing and a miss, and a big one at that from the lefty bat of Duffy. 7-1 Mallards lead. 6 runs in the top of the 3rd inning. Bottom of the 4th from Witter Field. The Mallards 1-2 so far on this 6-game road trip. On 1-1. Geez, that curveball today from Salata has been a thing of beauty as it just lands into the corner of the strike zone to make it 1-2. Looking to put away the side here in the 4th. The pitch to Duffy is a fastball, just half a ball's width off the plate on the outside corner. Salata motions his glove towards home plate umpire Sean McKinney, and he said, "Yep, just off the plate." Salata nods his head, and he's into the 2-2. That's flown down the left field line. That's a long run for Gupton. Let's see if the world-class sprinter can get there, and he misses it by about 10 feet. And I'll tell you what, I wish I was lying about the word world-class sprinter. Really, I wish I'm not lying, because the Mallards need a guy that can run like that. They've got some speed on this team. But he really is a world-class sprinter, and it says so on his NC State profile. There's a swing and a miss on a fastball up and away that puts away Duffy. Derek Salata has allowed 1 run through 4 innings. The Mallards lead 7-1, heading to the top of the 5th here on your home of Madison Mallards baseball. Top of the 5th inning from historic Witter Field here in Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin. 7-1 score, Mallards on top after a lengthy top of the 3rd inning. 6 runs for the Northsiders. Bottom 3rd of the order against Ryan Kaiser. Canyon Brown, Mikey Kluska, Michael Gupton. First of 2 with the Rafters from Witter Field. First pitch to Canyon Brown is a fastball for a called strike from Kaiser. Jackson Wentworth out of Kansas State got the start, went 3 innings, allowed 10 hits, 3 earned runs, 7 total. 1 walk, 3 strikeouts on 72 pitches. On 0-1, sharply through the right side. Diving stop by the second baseman, Taylor to his left. Gets up to his feet, throws to first. That's a spectacular play by the Raptors second baseman, Taylor. If this game is played at Capco Park, that is a single for Canyon Brown. As the field up in Mequon is turf, this one on grass. The grass just took the velocity off the ball and allowed Taylor to get over there in time to make a nice play. Mikey Kluska takes a fastball for strike 1. Still hitless as a Mallard. He's 0 for 9. He took a walk yesterday in the game against Lakeshore. On 0-1, low and in. 1 ball, 1 strike. He just moved out of the way. Fastball at 89, right past the front knee. A slightly offset stance for Kluska. Bat rests on the right shoulder. Bouncing ball towards second. Much easier this time for Taylor. And Kluska is retired. 2 up and 2 down for Ryan Kaiser.
Brings up left fielder, number 13, Michael Gupton.
Third AB now, and the debut for Michael Gupton. 1 for 2, a fielder's choice in the 2nd inning. He singled in a run in the 3rd. First pitch fastball is low. As Mike dons the all aqua blue uniform today for the Mallards, 2 different pads, 1 on his elbow, 1 on his shin. There's a swing and a miss to make the count 1-1. But that elbow guard and his shin guard, including his cleats, are still in the colors of NC State. That cardinal red and white, including his batting gloves as well. On 1-1. He swings and fouls it off to the backstop. Falls behind 1-2. The Mallards were just super excited to get Michael in. And it kind of took him by surprise that he would be here last night on 1-2. Bounce towards third on a high chop, third baseman Carlson. He is not going to get Gupton in time. That speed from Michael Gupton is the real thing. He sprinted down the first base line. That's a routine ground out against nearly anybody else. But the 5.96 speed from Gupton pushes him down the first baseline and gives him an infield single. Gupton back in sliding safely. He took off twice in the 3rd inning when Jake Holcroft was at the plate. Had to return twice. Gupton back in sliding safe again. Now remember, disengagements for a pitcher only count when you do not throw over to first base or you simply just step off. First pitch to Holcroft is slapped foul. And the reason for the cheer is the Bat Boy makes his 3rd appearance of the game. He's now 2 for 3, catching the ball off the net. Gupton is picked off over at first base. Could have some fun here. He's sprinting away from the first baseman, Boussier, and he was certainly going to be stealing there. Michael Gupton picked off at first base. He was kind of stuck in his tracks. The pitcher, Kaiser, had a really nice looking move. Isaiah Jackson will bring him his gear, and he'll head into left field. Mallard 7. Rafters 1, heading to the bottom of the 5th inning. More Derek Salata when we return on your home of Madison Mallards baseball. Get ready for Women's Summer Collegiate Softball. Northwoods League Softball is beginning play in the summer of 2024. Find out more about Northwoods League Softball at northwoodsleague.com/softball. Follow them on Twitter at NWL Softball. 7-1 Mallards, bottom of the fifth inning from Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin. Historic Witter Field, a place that the Mallards have lost 10 consecutive ball games. Derek Salata back to work. A fly ball off the bat of the leadoff man Hugo here to begin the inning. And that will fly foul into the inflatables for the kids down the first base line. Strong start so far for Salata. Pretty tough to follow up what he did on Monday with the 5 hitless innings on 0-1. Another fly ball down the right field line. Goolsby will chase it, turning to his left, sprinting after it, and it'll be a foul ball. Salata ahead of Hugo, 0-2. He surpassed his strikeout total from Monday already here today. Through 4 innings, he struck out 5. He punched out 4 on Monday. 0-2. A swing and a tap foul. Back to the backstop. Salata 3 pitches away from 70. He threw 65 on Monday. 0-2, a bouncing ball towards third. It'll be a foul ball as Keenan Taylor chased after it. So far today for Salata, 4 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, and 5 strikeouts. He's lowered his walk numbers from 2 to 0. Here in start number 2 on 0-2, a line drive back up the middle. He almost threw his glove behind his back and made a catch. It's a leadoff single for the 9-hole hitter Logan Hugo.
Brings up the designated hitter, number 0, Brandon Rogers.
So the leadoff man is on for Brandon Rogers. Batting from the right side, Rogers played 47 games at Iowa Western Community College this spring. Swings and misses on a fastball into the outside corner. His numbers were fantastic for the Reavers. .383 average, 13 home runs, knocked in 56 RBIs. Elevated fastball evens the count 1-1. Impressive all over the place. He also stole 17 bags for Iowa Western this spring. On 1-1, a swing and a ground ball towards short. Kluska fields between his legs, throws to second base. Low catch by Chatterton. Rogers is safe at first. A fielder's choice will take Hugo off the base paths.
Fielder, number 2, Ty Johnson.
So now Ty Johnson for the Rafters. The 1-2-3 punch at the beginning of the order for Wisconsin Rapids. They all had fantastic springs. 62 games played for Ty Johnson as he takes a changeup for a strike. Spent this spring at McLennan Community College. Batted 1 of 3. .333 batting average. He knocked in 51 RBIs and stole 61 bases. Kenyon Brown throwing down the second base. He will pick off Brandon Rogers. A beautiful throw from Kenyon Brown, his second caught stealing in as many nights. And Brandon Rogers has to be told a second time, yeah, you're out. He stood up at second base, punched out by Parker Powell. So now both outs in this inning belong to Brandon Rogers, a fielder's choice and a caught stealing on 1-1. Curveball in for strike 2 on what could be the final batter faced for Derek Salata. In line for the win so far today, only in the bottom of the 5th inning. Plenty of baseball left on 1-2, fastball low. 2 balls, 2 strikes, dueling with Ty Johnson. looks like Wesley Oswald. He is getting loose for the Mallards in their bullpen. On 2-2, swinging a foul tip. It got the piece of the umpire, Sean McKinney. And this bat boy tonight is trying to make a nice impression on Rafters headman Kirk Schreider. That's that cheer that you hear when nothing's going on. It's the bat boy putting on a show on 2-2. Curveball misses. Fills up the count with Ty Johnson. Salata into his motion. The full count pitch. Swinging a ground ball. Tapped foul down the first base line. He had 9 1-2 in this inning. 2-hole hitter Ty Johnson at the plate. 3 balls, 2 strikes in the count. Salata into his motion. Throws to Johnson, and he walks ball 4. Curveball rode low and in. And Salata's day is extended. That last pitch was number 80. Remember, you need 5 innings as a starting pitcher to record a win. And he is 1 out away from that total. Jack Boussier is the Rafter in the way. First pitch to him, fastball, low and away. Becoming a norm early in the season for Derek Salata to pitch 5 innings. Canyon Brown thought about going back to first base. A swing and a miss from Boussier makes it 1-1, and I think Canyon would have had the base runner at first base, Ty Johnson. Not for speculation. On 1-1, the pitch home from Salata is a swing and a drive into right field. That one slices down the right field line up the bat of Boussier, and it'll land foul. Long run for Corbin Dickerson. Good crowd on hand from Witter Field. They had some packed houses last season when the Mallards came to town. They walked off Madison 2 different times last season. Jacob Igawa was the culprit of the first one against Bryce Woody in the first game played here. On 1-2, a swing and a miss. And if that's Derek Salata's day, it was another superb performance by the righty. 7-1 Madison when we return for the top of the 6th inning on your home of Madison Mallards Baseball.
In front of the history case, there will be an autograph signing presented
7-1 Madison, top of the 6th inning from historic Witter Field in Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin.
leadoff batters. Number
Top of the order for Madison, Jake Holcroft, Keenan Taylor, Jackson Chatterton. That top third duels with Ryan Kaiser. First pitch fastball off the plate. Holcroft 2 for 3 today in his debut. Bounce out to second base in the first inning on the first pitch of the ball game. Then 2 back-to-back innings where he had a single and a double. Came around to score on a wild pitch. Second pitch fastball away from the plate. From the University of Portland out in Oregon. He dons purple batting gloves on 2-0, a swing and a miss. Another veteran guy that the Mallards will put a lot of trust in so far. They brought him in just a few days ago. 2-1 is low, 3 balls and a strike. But it does bring some congestion in the outfield with what is a pretty good lineup out there. The Mallards have 5 really good ball players that can play in the outfield. 3-1 is spoiled off, 3-2. You're talking about Holcroft, Isaiah Jackson, Corbin Dickerson, Michael Gupton, and Jack Tucker. Only one of those players on a temporary contract, and that's Holcroft, who they signed just 3 days ago. On 3-2, fastball high. Holcroft will walk to first base.
Now batting the third baseman, number 25, Keenan Taylor.
Jackson Chatterton was the first batter, faced off with Ryan Kaiser. Kaiser walked Chatterton. Then a 1-2-3. Top of the 5th inning. 2 groundouts and then a single by Gupton, but he was picked off by Kaiser. Rolling for his 3rd inning here. Keenan Taylor steps in. Runner on first base. First pitch popped up down the right field side and out of play. By the looks of this team early on for Madison, they look just more complete than they did a year ago. Pickoff move to first base is a good one. Holcroft diving safely. And another one. And Holcroft is safe. The team a season ago in the first 36, 18-18, but then the final 36, 8-28. 0-1. Just outside. I think the outside corner is not the spot to pitch today for Sean McKinney behind the plate. 2nd time this season the Mallards have had this crew for a series. On 1-1. Taylor on a slider a little bit further outside than the previous pitch. Sees a called strike. I'll tell you what, that pitch before was a lot closer to the zone, and it was called a ball. Holcroft slides back into first. That gets away from the first baseman, Boussier, but Holcroft will stay at first base. But I'll tell you what, with Holcroft here in Madison, in about 10 days when the temporary contracts conclude, there's going to be a real interesting decision on what to do. Taylor a line drive into center field, but right at the center fielder Johnson. Holcroft retreats, 1 away, top of the 6th inning. 7-1 Madison.
Bringing up the second baseman, number 3, Jackson Chatterton.
Good swing from Keenan. And that'll bring up Jackson Chatterton. He's been on base 2 different times today. A double in the first, a strikeout in the 3rd. And then a walk, a stolen base in the 4th inning. First pitch from Kaiser is a called strike. The Mallards will only have Jack for around the first half of the season before he begins an internship with medical device sales. 0-1. Chatty takes a fastball low, 1-1. When I talked to him about what the experience will be like with the internship, he says, oh, it's going to be a pretty gruesome start. A pickoff move to first base, Holcroft back in for a 3rd time. He says to begin, he'll be sort of an understudy. And Holcroft back in again. He's dirtying up that number 12 jersey here in game number 1 of the season for him. 1-1 in the count with Chatterton. Holcroft takes off, and Chatterton spoils off the 1-1. 1 ball, 2 strikes, swatted to the left side. But he'll be an understudy to a mentor, and they'll have to sit through surgeries for the first little bit before he can finally begin the medical device sales. And he said that's the one part he's really not looking forward to, is the sitting through surgeries. Part of his internship. Said he's got to have the stomach to take it all in. Holcroft takes off again, a pop-up. Left side of the infield, chasing is Duffy and Carlson, and the catcher Duffy makes a really nice catch. He overran it and jumped up into the air, fell down to his knees, and made a nice catch. Chatterton, who is sitting at home plate, picks up the mask, tells him good catch. And there's 2 away with Isaiah Jackson coming to the plate. Isaiah owns the first home run of the season for Madison. Came back in the long 3rd inning. Holcroft dives in safe again. Over at first base. Safe to say that Ryan Kaiser is thinking about the runner over there. First pitch to Isaiah. Checked his swing. He did go around for a called strike 1 on a fastball. In the early going with Isaiah, made his first start yesterday. Holcroft back in again. It's really difficult to tell that this kid is a freshman. Got a great head on his shoulders. Freshman at Arizona State. On 0-1, a swing and a fly ball into right field. Hugo will charge in as the wind takes care of that one. And a fly out of Isaiah Jackson will do it for the top of the 6th inning. Mallard still leads 7-1. No score since the 3rd inning, but the 6-run edge will continue for the Mallards in the bottom of the 6th inning. You're on your home of Madison Mallards baseball. Seven-1 lead for Madison. Bottom of the 6th inning from Witter Field here in Wisconsin Rapids. New pitcher is on for the Mallards. And it is the 6'8", 225-pound sophomore from Metropolitan Community College, Wesley Oswald. Native of Lenexa, Kansas. And I'll tell you what, he is all of 6'8". Day done for Derek Salata. 5 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 6 Ks. Heart of the order, 4, 5, 6. Chris Conniff leads off. First pitch from Wesley, fastball outside. His first pitch registers at 91 miles an hour on the outside corner. Work strictly from the stretch. On 1-0. It's a fastball low and in past the knees of Conniff. After last season with Wisconsin Rapids, where he batted .250 in 43 games, he made the transfer from St. John's in New York to Wagner, also in New York. 2-0 pitch from Wesley. There's a fastball, not even close. This has been the trouble spot for Madison through the last couple of ball games. The first reliever after the starter has simply not been good. Wesley comes set with the 3-0. The pitch home. Fastball, not close again. Ball 4. 4-pitch walk to start off today for Wesley Oswald.
Brings up Matt Olive, the left fielder, number 12.
Yesterday it was Will Peterson for the Mallards, unable to pick up a single out. 1 hit, 2 walks, 2 hit batsmen, 3 earned runs. And the day before that it was Cam Kleins, 1 2/3, 1 hit. A walk, 2 hit batsmen, and 3 earned runs. First pitch to Matt Olive is a fastball low and away. So 5 pitches thrown so far for the 6'8" Oswald and 5 balls. He comes set just above script Madison, then drops it down to the belt. Long delivery, fastball off the plate for ball 6. Olive is 1 for 2 today. Struck out against Salata in the 2nd inning, then singled off Derek in the 4th. Oswald with the 2-0 pitch. Raises his left knee, comes home, fastball elevated, 3-0. Canyon Brown out to have a conversation with Wesley. At Metropolitan this spring, no decisions. His ERA was just below 17. He walked 21, struck out 19, over 9 2/3. Now that's really good strikeout numbers, but he's all over the place when it comes to the strike zone. On 3-0, there's a called strike. Matt Olive almost got rid of the bat and head down to first base, but he's got to step back in there. Three balls, 1 strike with Matt Olive. Oswald throws home, fastball just inside for ball 4. And the first 2 base runners of the inning for the Rafters with nobody away. The Mallards already have a new arm up and loose in the bullpen. And it looks like it's Will Simmons, the North Carolina Tar Heel. Lots of work to do here in the bottom of the 6th inning for Wesley Oswald. 2 runners on, nobody out. Mallards up 7-1. Fastball low and in. 10 pitches, 9 of them balls for Wesley Oswald. Shane Taylor is 1 of 2. Oswald comes home, fastball in off the plate by about an inch. 2 balls, no strikes. Shane Taylor decided to go to Utah Tech over his hometown team of UNLV. Average took a big dip off this spring. Oswald throws a fastball behind Shane Taylor. The runners will advance to 2nd and 3rd base. I mean, he's just nowhere close with the fastball right now. It's all he's throwing. First Mallard's wild pitch of the day comes here in the 6th inning in relief of Derek Salata, Wesley Oswald. 3-0 pitch. There's the strike zone to make it 3-1. Mallards, who are a strong first half team typically. Last season went .500. They're going to need the bullpen to step up. if they want to do that again this season. On 3-1, Oswald unloads. Inside, ball 4. He has walked the bases loaded. And Donnie Scott will head out there, and he's going to go to the pen immediately. Donnie calls time. He will point out to the bullpen. And for the third consecutive ball game, the Mallards are going to have to go to the pen with nobody out and the bases loaded. Day done for Wesley Oswald. He does not record an out in his first appearance of the season in a 7-1 ball game. Madison leading the Wisconsin Rapids Rafters here on your home of Madison Mallards baseball. Donnie Scott forced to go to the bullpen with the bases loaded and nobody out. In the Wisconsin Rapids 6th inning, Wesley Oswald had no command out of the bullpen for the Mallards in his only appearance so far in the season. And Donnie is forced to go to the 6'2", 195-pound freshman from UNC Chapel Hill, Will Simmons. 2 innings on the year, came back on Wednesday in the home win against Fond du Lac. 2 innings pitched, he struck out 4. He put away all 6 batters that he faced. Now Piedmont's Kyle Carlson. 7-1 Mallards. First pitch from Will is fouled off to the backstop. Wesley Oswald threw 14 pitches. Only 2 of them were strikes. Conniff, Olive, and Taylor all walked. Now a big spot for Will Simmons. On 0-1, a curveball's bounced towards third and foul. Keenan Taylor in the foul territory will scoop it up and toss the ball back in. And Will Simmons is known for his strikeout stuff. He went from South Dakota all the way over to North Carolina, and a big part of that commitment for Will was because he had been a fan of the Tar Heels for a while. 2 strikes in the count to Carlson. And the pitch from Simmons. Back up the middle for a base hit. That'll score Conniff. Matt Olive around third. He will score. The throw from Jackson is cut off by Goolsby, and it is a 7-3 ball game from Witter Field. Big swing by Kyle Carlson. And now the catcher, Alex Duffy, in a 4-run ball game. The Diamond Heels had started recruiting Will very early. And he wanted to be a part of what North Carolina's culture really was. First pitch in the at-bat with Duffy is a fastball up and away. They contacted Will early in the process, which was a jumbled process because he had started getting calls during that awkward COVID recruiting period where he didn't get to play much travel or club baseball as the 1-0 was tapped foul. And playing travel and club ball are pretty much where the main looks will come from colleges. Will decided to sign with the recruiter from a program called Elite Sports Advising, and they helped him through that process. Here's a swing and a fly ball in a shallow right center field. Second baseman Chatterton backpedals and will relay the ball back into the infield. A big first out for Will Simmons. And Logan Hugo, the right fielder, will step in. Essentially what the process was like after he signed with Elite Sports Advising was they would send different coaches and teams and universities video clips of Will, and that's how he was discovered. And North Carolina found him, and they decided to sign him to the recruiting class of just a season ago, a graduate of 2022. First pitch fastball for a strike to Logan Hugo into the outside corner. Strike one. Runners on first and second base, 7-3 Mallards. Curveball is high. 1-1 strike with Hugo. Attends Eastern Michigan. Located in Ypsilanti, which is about 5 minutes to the east of Ann Arbor. On 1-1, Simmons misses with fastball. He pulled his body to the left. Whipped in a fastball at 89 miles an hour. Pretty much sits between 88 and 90. Two balls and a strike. The pitch from Simmons. Fastball, called strike. Big one to get. Two balls, two strikes. Logan Hugo at the plate. Will Simmons dueling with him. Stares back towards second. Raises his left leg. Curveball for a called strike three. Big time stuff from Will Simmons. Snatches the ball back from Canyon Brown. And there are two away in a 4-run ball game. So here comes the most power on this ball club, Brandon Rogers. The Mallards have hit 2 home runs today, and a home run for Wisconsin Rapids would do them wonders in this ball game. First pitch from Simmons is fouled off to the backstop. One strike in the count. Rogers waits. The pitch from Simmons. Check to swing. Yes, sir, he went around. First base umpire Justin Wilson makes it an 0-2 count. Will starting to reach back 90 miles an hour. Two-seam fastball. Slider changeup. The last pitch was the two-seamer. Simmons comes set at the belt. 0-2 to Rogers. The pitch home. Swing and a miss. He put down Rogers in a big spot. Will Simmons picks up 2 strikeouts in relief of Wesley Oswald, and the score remains 7-3. That's big-time stuff from Will Simmons, and we'll be right back on your home of Madison Mallards baseball. 7-3 Mallards from Witter Field here in Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin. The Rafters pick up 2 in the bottom of the 6th inning, and Will Simmons enters in relief of Wesley Oswald, who walked the bases loaded. And after a single from Kyle Carlson, a fly out to the second baseman out in right field. Chatterton invaded Dickerson's territory, and then back-to-back Ks of Hugo and Rogers from Will Simmons got the job done. Dickerson taps the first pitch foul from new pitcher Anthony Benetti. Benetti from Barry University at his 4th season with the Buccaneers. 6'2", 205 from Clearwater Central Catholic High School down in Tampa. On 0-1 to Dickerson. He takes slider away. 3 debuts today for Wisconsin Rapids. All right-handers, Wentworth, Kaiser, and Benetti, all in their first appearances. From the windup, the 1-1 comes home. Dickerson swings and misses on a nasty slider. From the belt, raises the glove in front of his chin, then brings it back down to the chest. Into his motion, slider away, makes it 2-2. It's just a little baby step back with his left foot as he works from the middle of the rubber. Left foot back, places the right foot on the slab, comes home. 2-2 outside with a fastball. Good count for Corbin Dickerson. A good at-bat so far here in the top of the 7th inning. 7-3 Madison. On 3-2, Dickerson takes strike 3 looking. Fastball low into the zone. First strikeout for Anthony Benetti. The Mallards have had really good offensive approaches so far today. That's the first backwards K at the plate. Jake Goolsby, the left-handed swinger, is into the box. And the first pitch fastball lands for a strike. This season at Barry was used as a starter early in the season and then made the transition to the bullpen. 31 1/3 innings pitched, ERA over 9. Goolsby takes a changeup for a ball. Allowed quite a bit of contact on the season. That was primarily his issue. He struck out 34 and walked just 11. Goolsby swats off the 1-1. It's 1-2. 48 hits allowed through 31 1/3. His whip numbers were not great. Season record of 2-2. But only 17 of the 48 hits were for extra bases, which is relatively good for the right-hander. On 1-2, fastball off the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and Benetti thought he had strike 3. Into his motion with the 2-2 pitch, and Goolsby takes ball off the plate again. 2 changeups in this AB with Jake Goolsby, and both of them have rode in low. Count is all loaded up. 3 balls, 2 strikes. 1 away, top of the 7th inning. 7-3 Madison. Into his motion. 3-2 is on the ground towards short. Conniff fields on a short hop. Will throw to first, and Goolsby sprinting down the first base line is thrown out. Hey fans, tonight's game is brought to you in part by 5 Tool Ale, the official beer of the Northwoods League. Look for 5 Tool Ale at select league ballparks or find 5 Tool Ale at Festival Food Stores in Wisconsin. Remember to drink responsibly, designate a driver, and get home safe. Now Canyon Brown. First pitch to him is the slider outside. Canyon fell off balance and missed on the first pitch. The Mallards backstop, 1 of 2 today. Walked in the second, singled in the long 3rd inning. And bounced out to the second baseman in his 3rd AB in the 5th. On the ground towards 3rd. Carlson ranging to his left. Off balance throw is high off the bag. First baseman Boussier was unable to place down the tag on Canyon Brown. They will appeal to the home plate umpire, and Kirk Schreider is out of the dugout. First base umpire Parker Powell will jog over and have a conversation with Schreider. I'll tell you what, from the view up here, it looked like Boussier placed down the tag. Really no contest from Schreider. He'll go back out there now. I think he just wants an appeal, as Parker Powell will make his way back over to the third base line. Schreider has not passed the chalk. He is just a few feet from the batter's box. And they will have an umpire's conversation just in front of the mound, slightly over to the right side. Canyon Brown currently stands on first base. It would be a throwing error from the third baseman Carlson. It was a short chopper. Carlson ranged to his left, made an off-balance throw about right behind the pitcher's mound to the left side of the infield. And the throw pulled Boussier down the line, and the appeal is a called out from the umpiring crew. Donnie Scott is livid in the third base box. Donnie is not happy as he walks back to the dugout. He is barking at the home plate umpire, Sean McKinney, the crew chief, and the first base umpire, Parker Powell. 7-3 Mallards lead. Bottom of the seventh inning coming up as we stretch out here at Witter Field on your home of Madison Mallards baseball. Bottom of the seventh inning from Witter Field here in Wisconsin Rapids. Donnie Scott still letting home plate umpire Sean McKinney hear about the call that ended the top of the seventh inning. Ty Johnson digs in. First pitch fastball for a strike from Will Simmons. Johnson at McLennan Community College played 62 games this spring. Second pitch swatted off foul and returns to play. Quick 0-2 count. Will Simmons ahead of Ty Johnson, the center fielder for Wisconsin Rapids. 321 average, 5 runs driven in. His OPS is at 696 early on. The 0-2 is swung on and missed, and Will Simmons continues his strong performance out of the bullpen after he entered with the bases loaded after Wesley Oswald walked all 3 of the batters he faced. After the strong performance today by Derek Salata as the Mallard starter. So here's Boussier digging in. He is 0 for 3 today. his freshman year at Pepperdine out in California. He was a day one starter for the Waves. .345 batting average. He takes strike one on the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike with Simmons. But his slugging percentage was very good for a freshman. 13 doubles in his first year. Simmons flips in a curveball for strike 2. One out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. And Boussier will take called strike 3. A fastball from Will Simmons. The two-seam fastball is dancing all over the strike zone right now for Will. He has been really impressive in his 2 games so far with Madison. He got 2 big strikeouts with runners on first and second base in the 6th inning after replacing Oswald. First pitch to Chris Conniff, taken for a strike, fastball outside. One strike in the count. The pitch from Simmons. He is just throwing it in the K zone right now. A curveball into the outer corner makes it 0-2. Nobody on. 0-2 count, 2 away. The pitch, fastball high. Conniff has been one of the 2 most efficient hitters today for Wisconsin Rapids. Him and Matt Olive have been on twice. On 1-2, Simmons is a fly ball into right field off the bat of Conniff. Dickerson in routine depth makes the catch. And that'll do it. A quick bottom of the 7th inning. Will Simmons continues his strong performance out of the bullpen. It's 7-3 Madison here on your home of Madison Mallards baseball.
Winner of the Budweiser Good Sport program.
Top of the 8th inning. New pitcher for Wisconsin Rapids as Madison leads 7-3. The big right-hander from Notre Dame College, Johnny Anservitz. Same school that Ben Ross attended. He's now in the Minnesota Twins organization after being drafted last summer. About halfway through the season for that magical 57-15 year for Wisconsin Rapids, where they broke the Northwoods League record for wins. First pitch curveball is in for a called strike against Mikey Kluska. Mikey still looking for that first hit. He is 0 for 10. He's committed 2 errors today. On 0-1. Fastball low. Anservitz started 11 games this season for the Falcons at Notre Dame College, a 1-5 record. but his strikeout numbers were great. 46 Ks over 48 in the third innings pitched. On 1-1. Kluska swings back up the middle on a line drive. That'll fall, and there's the first base knock of his Mallards career. Now 1 of 11 in the early going for the Mallards shortstop. Leading this ball game by 4. Pretty much all of the Mallards' fun outside of the lone run in the second inning came in the long third with 6 runs scored. 11 batters to the plate. First pitch fastball misses low to Michael Gupton. A line drive single in that third inning, and then an infield single in the fifth. Anservitz works far first base side of the rubber. He checks over to the runner Kluska at first base. I haven't seen Mikey take off yet. On 1-0 to Gupton. Fastball scoots right between the wickets of Duffy. Catcher unable to block it. Kluska into second base. RBI opportunity for Michael Gupton. Fourth pitcher used on the day for manager Schreider and the Wisconsin Rapids Rafters. Checking in at 2-4, the Mallards at 3-3. The 2-0 pitch to Gupton is that curveball that bends quite a bit to make it 3-0. It looked like it might clip the strike zone, but then died on the outside corner. The wind still swirling here from historic Witter Field towards the first baseline. The sun beginning to set right behind the field. Sky looking pretty gloomy across the outfield here in Wisconsin Rapids. On 3-0. Fastball right over Broadway for strike 1. Three balls and a strike with Gupton. Anservitz comes set, delivers home a big swing and a miss on what would have been ball 4. A fastball high was cut on by Gupton, loads up the count at 3-2. In the inning break, Sean Brown, Mallard's pitching coach, went out to Will Simmons, shook his hand, which means the day is likely done for Will. On 3-2, Gupton takes a called strike 3, and he is put away. First strikeout for Johnny Anservitz, and there are the strikeouts that we briefly mentioned during his time at Notre Dame College. Lineup card flips over Jake Holcroft. Been on base 3 different times in his debut. First pitch to him, gets away from the catcher. A fastball was spiked about a foot in front of home plate. And Mikey Kluska over to third base. That third inning powered by a Holcroft single. Infield style to lead things off. Another single, a home run, another home run back-to-back between Isaiah Jackson and Corbin Dickerson. A double, single, single, double. 1-0 pitch, nowhere close. 2 balls, no strikes. Infield plays in against Holcroft. He's got the ability to spread the ball all over the ballpark. Holds the hands quite a ways away from the ear. On 2-0. He'll take fastball low. 3 balls, no strikes. Keenan Taylor waits his turn on deck. Top of the 8th inning, 7-3 Madison. Here on YouTube Live. Covering all 36 Mallards road games this season. 3-0 pitch to Holcroft. Swinging away on 3-0, and he swung at ball 4 just like Gupton did. Donnie, who was very hot with the umpiring crew an inning ago, claps his hands a few times towards Jake, says settle in for the 3-1 pitch. Anservitz delivers on 3-1, ball 4, fastball low. And for the fourth time today, Jake Holcroft is on base.
Runners at the corner. One down. For third baseman, number 25.
Here comes Keenan Taylor, the Purdue Boilermaker for the Mallards. The corners play in for Wisconsin Rapids. The middle infielders play back. Routine depth for the outfielders. Olive, Johnson, and Hugo from left to right. First pitch to Taylor. He'll take changeup low. 1 ball, no strikes with Johnny Anservitz. Madison looking to build on their 7-3 lead here in the 8th inning. Runners on the corners. Kluska at third. And over at first, Holcroft. There's a pickoff move over towards Jake, and he'll dive back in safely. Top of the 8th inning, 7-3. Here is Keenan Taylor taking a bender for strike one. Taylor playing at the hot corner again tonight. Pretty much found a home over there. Has started all 7 games, 6 of them at third base, 1 at second base. Curveball high. 2 balls and a strike. Anservitz rests the glove on the thigh, then comes set. Doesn't move the feet. On 2-1 to Taylor. Swing, and he loses the bat over to the dugout on the third base side. The bat at the bottom, he might have made some contact with that ball.
Everybody's okay now.
Keenan Taylor will pick up a new bat in the Mallards dugout. There was a very small piece of lumber that fell off the bat, and I think it was because Taylor simply just lost the bat, and it flew over towards the Wisconsin Rapids dugout, and it nearly really hit the Wisconsin Rapids coaches. And from there, I think that's where the wood fell off the bat. Maple bats are relatively prone to breaking. So all of that for 2 balls and 2 strikes. Anservitz comes set at the belt. Raises the left leg, throws home. Ball 3 on a curveball. Taylor tracked that ball all the way down into the dirt. Runners on the corner, 7-3 Madison. They've out-hit the Rafters 12-6 today. Kluska at third, Holcroft at first. The payoff pitch coming to Taylor. Holcroft takes off, a swing and a fly ball into center field. Holcroft is going to have to retreat back. Kluska will tag from third. Center fielder Johnson makes the catch, and there will be no play at the plate. A sacrifice fly from Keenan Taylor gives the Mallards their first run since the 3rd inning. It's 8-3 Madison. So now with an 8-3 lead, the Mallards in all of their wins so far this year. Holcroft takes off. Chatterton takes a ball low. The throw from the catcher, Duffy, bounced in front of the mound. And he might have had some trouble on the exchange with the glove as he kind of fools with his hand. Brian Dyer, assistant coach for the Rafters, has called for someone to get loose or for potentially a new catcher. On 1-0, Chatterton takes a strike. The Mallards are running all over Duffy behind the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike. Anservitz still dueling with Chatterton. Stares back towards second, delivers home. Chatterton takes a strike on a curveball to make it 1-2. It's been a welcome sight to see the Mallards beginning to run quite a bit. League low in stolen bags a year ago. Up towards the top so far this season on 1-2. Chatterton swings and misses. Ansevich puts down the side, but the Mallards pick up one on a single and a sacrifice fly. Gluska in to score after a Taylor sacrifice. 8-3 Mallards on your home of Madison. Mallards baseball. Hey fans, the Northwoods League is proud to partner with the authentic Stadium Mustard this season. For over 50 years, Stadium Mustard has been offered at stadiums, ballparks, and arenas coast to coast, and the Mallards are proud to be serving Stadium Mustard here at Witter Field and back home at Warner Park. Loved by a million, Stadium Mustard. Matt Olive leads off against New Mallards pitcher Will Morris. The 6'5", 205-pound sophomore from the University of North Alabama. He missed with ball one, and he comes set with the second pitch. Second pitch is fouled off towards the third base line and foul. Game 4 of this 6-game road stand for Madison. This is 5-6-7 on 1-2. A fly ball high and deep into left field. This one is way out of here off the bat of Matt Olive. The second home run allowed on the season for the Madison pitching staff. It makes it 8-4. That ball was crushed off the bat of Olive. Gives the Rafters faithful here, all 575 of them, something to cheer about. First pitch to Shane Taylor is up and away from Will Morris. Sporadic run scored today for Wisconsin Rapids. On 1-0, the pitch from Morris is a fastball that bounces into Canyon Brown. The Mallards looking to just put away Wisconsin Rapids in the 8th and 9th innings. Shane Taylor ahead 2-0 to Morris. Fastball for a called strike makes it 2-1. The Mallards do have an arm getting loose down in the bullpen. On 2-1, Morris misses with fastball high. Morris comes set, right at script Madison. On 3-1, he pinpoints a fastball to load up the count 3-2. Just gotta trust your defense if you're Will Morris. Picked up a save in game 3 of the year. On 3-2, he lost him. Shane Taylor down to first base. A home run and a walk leads off the bottom of the 8th inning. Rashad Ruff, the Mallards closer, getting loose down in the bullpen in case they need him here in the 8th inning. Mallards leading by 4. Kyle Carlson singled and drove in 2 runs in the 6th inning. First pitch to him for Morris. He finds the strike zone for strike 1. Carlson has spent 2 different seasons at Piedmont College. 84 games, numbers pretty similar. Just became more consistent over time with Piedmont. Ground ball towards third, it's in foul territory. As Keenan Taylor raced after it. Madison looking to do something they have not done since June of 2021. That's win here at Witter Field. On 0-2, the pitch to Carlson. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball. Down goes Carlson. Morris bounced it in. Carlson fished for it, and it's good for the first out of the inning.
Catcher, number 31, Alex Duffy.
Will Morris has 8 and 9 in the palm of his hand right now. First, it's Duffy from Elon. First pitch to Duffy is a ball low. Will Morris has a very unique pitching stance. He bends over at the waist before coming set, stares over at the runner on first, then comes set and throws his left foot in front of his right foot. On 1-0, changeup low makes it 2 balls and no strikes. And that left foot from the big 6'5" righty, it essentially points back towards the shortstop. Sets it down once, then twice. Stares in, the 2-0 pitch, fastball. Oh boy, that's a beautiful pitch to make it 2-1. And you can even tell from up here in the booth that fastball's got some arm side run to it. On 2-1, fastball again, beautifully placed, same exact spot, 2-2. Morris, another one of those pitchers on a temporary contract, looking to earn a full spot in Madison. On 2-2, it's low. Fills up the count with Alex Duffy. The last thing you want if you're the Mallards is for the top of the order to come back up with base runners on in an 8-4 ball game. 3-2 pitch. Morris K's him backwards. Down goes Alex Duffy on another one of those fastballs. So after the leadoff home run by Matt Olive and the walk of Shane Taylor in a full count, he strikes out Kyle Carlson swinging, and now a backward strikeout of Alex Duffy. Here comes Logan Hugo, the right fielder. 8-4, Madison lead from Witter Field. First pitch fastball is roped back and foul. Brandon Rogers waits on deck. As of right now, it looks like Rashad Ruff will get the 9th for the Mallards on 0-1. Breaking ball off the glove of Canyon Brown. Scampering into second base is Shane Taylor.
All right, let's make that hurt.
And that's pretty uncharacteristic of Canyon Brown to simply just drop the ball. It looked like a slider. They just crossed him up a bit. He didn't flip over his glove. He kept it the right way. And on 1-1, here's a fly ball high and deep into left center field. Back goes Isaiah Jackson, tracking it to the track, and he'll make the catch over his left shoulder, and that'll do it in the bottom of the 8th inning. Will Morris after the leadoff home run, and then the walk. K's 2, and then gets a fly out of Logan Hugo. It'll be 1-2-3 for the Rafters in the bottom of the 9th, but for the Mallards, insurance time from Witter Field here on your home of Madison Mallards baseball. Top of the 9th inning from historic Witter Field in Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin. Mallards 8, Rafters 4. Power part of the order due up for the Mallards. 4, 5, and 6. Isaiah Jackson, Corbin Dickerson, Jake Goolsby. Face off against new pitcher Alec Burnett from Wagner College. First pitch to Isaiah is a called strike. Second game now in Madison for Isaiah. Has yet to play a home game. Made his debut last night against Lakeshore, and game number 2 today here in Wisconsin Rapids. On 0-1. He'll take off the plate, but called for a strike on a changeup from Burnett. Second year in the Northwoods for Burnett. Second year in Wisconsin Rapids. One of the better bullpen arms for the Rafters a year ago. On 0-2, a high fly ball into shallow center field. Johnson will track it, locate it, and glove it. About 10 strides off the grass behind the shortstop position. Had a 2-0 record, a 1.38 ERA. 26 innings is the most he has pitched over his entire collegiate career. Picked up 3 saves along with that. At Indianapolis, his first 3 collegiate seasons, he pitched just over 32 innings as Corbin Dickerson steps in. First pitch curveball, misses the outside corner. His freshman year, he only threw 2 innings. He ended up getting a red shirt. That 2020 year, thanks to the pandemic. Fastball off the plate, 2-0. And then in his final 2 seasons at UIndy, 28 total games, 31 2/3 innings pitched. And his strikeout numbers were fantastic. Punched out 48, walked 27. On 2-0, Dickerson flies one down the right field line. Long run for the first baseman, Boussier. And it'll bounce off the fence and back into play. 2 balls and a strike with Corbin. The Mallards right fielder, Dickerson plus Jackson, went back-to-back in the 3rd inning. The Mallards scored 6. They currently lead 8-4. It looks like right now Rashad Ruff will come in to close the game for Madison. Will not count as a save. On 2-1. Dickerson takes fastball just in off the plate. But then eventually Burnett made the transfer to Wagner. And this spring, 15 2/3, picked up 2 saves, a 1-0 record, and an ERA of about 7.5. On 3-1, Dickerson taps it foul. He had the highest whip numbers of his career at 2.43. And I mean, that is significantly higher than his next highest number. That's 1.89 last spring at Indianapolis. On 3-2, the pitch to Dickerson. It's a called strike 3 in the outside corner. Corbin's got some words to say for home plate umpire Sean McKinney. The Mallards have not been his best friend here today. First strikeout for the new pitcher, Burnett.
Now batting Jake Goolsby.
Two away, and Jake Goolsby digs in for the Mallards. Sean McKinney calls time. Has a word with the Rapids dugout. Not quite sure exactly what for. And it was for a pitch clock violation, so it should be 1-0. That's the first one of the season for the Mallards. And the second pitch is a curveball off the plate for ball 2. Didn't make it very clear that's what it was for. It didn't look like the meter was that low. Fastball off the plate, 3 balls, no strikes. Good to make note of the first pitch clock violation of the season. Comes here in Game 7. And Jake Goolsby gets a favor from Alec Burnett. The 3-0 from the righty is a fastball, pinpointed for strike one. Burnett's 6'2", 200 pounds, a 23-year-old. At his second school, began in Indianapolis at U of Indy, and now plays in Staten Island at Wagner College. Goolsby swings and misses on a changeup away. Loads up the count with the Mallards first baseman. If he reaches, Canyon Brown waits on deck. On 3-2, Goolsby takes fastball low, ball 4. The Mallards have a 2-out base runner in the top of the 9th inning.
Now batting the catcher, number 19, Canyon Brown. 2 down, let's get one here. Take the easy one.
So Canyon digs in on his day today, 1 of 3. He walked in the second inning, singled in a run in the long top of the third, and then 2 ground outs to close out his day, but one more chance at the plate for Canyon. First pitch from Burnett. It's going to hit him. On a curveball, Canyon takes it right off the old elbow guard on his left arm and will take a slow walk down to first base.
Right, and he bagged now. Brings up shortstop, number 8, Mikey Kluska.
First time that a Mallard has been hit by a pitch tonight. Mikey Kluska batting 1 of 4 on the night. Mallards leading 8-4, top of the 9th inning, 2 base runners on. Kluska looking to drive in his first run of the season. First pitch to him is a fastball that's fouled off behind home plate. If Kluska is able to do any damage, Michael Gupton would be next. He is 2 for 4. An 0-1 from Burnett. That's a fastball low, blocked nicely by Duffy. Good time to check the out-of-town scoreboard here in the top of the 9th inning with 2 outs. 1-1 count. Mallards 8-4 here in Wisconsin Rapids. Final score from Mequon. Lakeshore continues their hot streak. They win 6-5 over Green Bay. They've lost their last 3 games after starting 4-0. Kluska with an awkward swing. Called for a strike. A weak throw over to first base. Canyon Brown back in standing up. Final score from Athletic Park in Wausau. Boy, are the Woodchucks hot. They have won 6 consecutive games. They win it 3-1 over Fond du Lac. Mallards beats the Woodchucks in game 1 at Warner Park since they have won 6 consecutive. Fastball up and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes with Kluska. In the Great Lakes East, Kalamazoo, 8-4 winners over Rockford. Good performance by Tyler Johnson on the mound. Jake O'Connell gets the save for the former champions. On 2-2, that's inside. That hits Mikey Kluska. He'll have to shake it off. Bases will be loaded for Michael Gupton. So after picking up a flyout and then a backwards K, a pitch clock violation, raised to a full count and a walk to Jake Goolsby. And then back-to-back hit by pitch have loaded up the bases full of Mallards. First pitch changeup is low and away. One ball in the count. Burnett comes set, working the middle of the rubber on 1-0. And Gupton takes ball 2 on a fastball low. Tell you what, anything can happen in the Northwoods League as the catcher Duffy makes his way out to the mound. And personally, I'm a little shaken up right now as a spider crawled across the desk. Always a good time at Witter Field. Two balls, no strikes with Michael Gupton as the visit is adjourned. 8-4 Madison, leading Wisconsin Rapids here in the 9th. Bases loaded full of Mallards on 2-0. Gupton takes a fastball high, but called for strike one. Mike does not like the call. Steps out of the box for a moment, taps the plate one time. Swinging from the right side, waits on the 2-1. There's the first disengagement from Alec Burnett as he steps off. Goolsby at third, Brown on second, Kluska at first. 2-1 count, 2 away, 9th inning. Gupton swings and fouls off a pop-up behind home plate down to a knee on the breaking ball. Two balls, 2 strikes with Michael Gupton. Bases are loaded. Madison, top of the 9th inning on 2-2. He takes a fastball for a called strike 3. It looked a little too low, and Sean McKinney rings him up. Donnie Scott points. He will go to the bullpen, and Rashad Ruff will enter for the 9th inning. Madison leading 8-4 from Witter Field here in Wisconsin Rapids on your home of Madison Mallards baseball. Bottom of the 9th inning from historic Witter Field in Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin. The Mallards have gone to their closer to try and get 3 outs in a non-close situation for Rashad Ruff. It'll be 1-2-3 for the Rafters. Brandon Rogers, Ty Johnson, Jack Bussier. Rashad Ruff, the 6-foot, 170-pound native of Moreno Valley, California. And redshirt junior from Coppin State University makes his 3rd appearance on the season. Pitched for the first time on opening night against Wausau, and then again on the first. First pitch to Brandon Rogers is a called strike right over the middle of the plate by Rashad Ruff. Good-looking fastball, devastating changeup. On 0-1. That's a curveball that bends Rogers out of the way, but just missed the inside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. 77 miles an hour on the curveball, a bit faster on the change. On 1-1. Fastball just above the zone. 2 balls and a strike. Rashad Ruff with Brandon Rogers. Rogers doing the DHing today. He is 0 for 4, 2 swinging strikeouts on 2-1. There's a pop-up, and it'll get out of play back behind the third base side of the grandstands. The range for Rashad is pretty much anywhere between 76 and 91 miles an hour. On 2-2, there's a curveball that's just tapped foul by Rogers. Rashad picked up a save in the win at Fond du Lac on Wednesday. On 2-2, a fastball is elevated. Rashad will only spend a couple more days with the Mallards before leaving for a graduation cruise with his father Anthony that sits behind the first base dugout. On 3-2, fastball up and in, ball 4. He lost Brandon Rogers. A leadoff walk issued by Rashad Ruff. The second appearance out of the bullpen was a bit tougher for Rashad. 1 1/3, he did pick up the save, but he allowed 2 hits and a single. 2 unearned runs that day. First pitch on the ground through the gap on the left side for Ty Johnson. Rogers will dig towards third. Heading the throw is in from Gupton, and sliding in safe to third base as Rogers and the Rafters have something moving here in the 9th inning. Michael Gupton came in to field the ball, relayed the throw into third, and Brandon Rogers had a massive leadoff over at first base. Now Jack Boussier. This is kind of a where have we seen this story before for Madison here at Witter Field. Derek Salata pacing in the Mallards dugout. Donnie Scott doing the same as he has taken a seat down the first base line. First pitch to Boussier, fastball high. Not a massive crowd at Witter Field, but a pretty good sized one for a Sunday night. 575. 1-0 pitch from Rashad. Fastball fouled off the glove of Canyon Brown. 1-1 with Boussier. He's 0 for 4 today. 2 ground outs, 2 strikeouts. 1 swinging, 1 watching. Rashad Ruff looking to close the door. 8-4 Mallards. 2 runners on base. 1-1 count. Nobody away. Swing and a miss on a beautiful curveball from Rashad Ruff. He has the ability to throw both the slider and the curveball for strikes. The slider's got more bite to it. On 1-2, unloads a fastball that's fouled off behind home plate again. 1 run apiece for both the Mallards and the Rafters in the second. The Mallards, a touchdown without the extra point in the third with 6 runs. The Rafters plated 2 in the bottom of the 6th inning, then 1 apiece in the 8th. On 1-2, back towards Rashad. It bounces off of the pitcher. Rashad rushes towards the ball, flips it to first. That'll get the first out of the inning. They will trade an out for a run nearly any time they can in the 9th with the 4-run lead, but it is down to 3. RBI ground out for Jack Boussier, runner into second base. And now if you're Rashad, you've pretty much just got to reevaluate the situation. You've got a runner on second that doesn't matter all that much. Chris Conniff waits on the first pitch. First pitch fastball beautifully into the corner for strike 1. Rashad works closer to the right side of the rubber, first base side. Comes set at the belt, looks back towards second. Once, twice, 3 times. Comes home, a swing and a miss. There's the changeup that we hear all about for Rashad Ruff. The curveball can dip down to 76, as previously mentioned in this inning. That changeup was at 81, and it just tilts off the table at the last moment. Looking for a big out here on 0-2. Fastball low. 8-5 Madison. See if Rashad Ruff can pick up a big out here in the 9th inning. Leading this ball game by 3. Ruff comes home. A called strike 3. Sits down. Conniff on the changeup. It looked like it was coming in high, and then it just fell off the table. And there are 2 outs, and Matt Olive coming to the plate as the potential final out of this ball game. Mallards looking to break their 2-game losing streak. First pitch breaking ball blocked nicely by Canyon Brown. 1-0 in the count to Matt Olive. The pitch home, fastball that's popped up behind home plate. Runner on second base, Ty Johnson. 8-5 as the Mallards lead. The potential tying run stands on deck in Shane Taylor. The Mallards at 3-3. Rafters at 2-4. The 1-1 pitch. Fastball beautifully placed for strike two. One strike to get for Rashad Ruff. With his father sitting right down the first baseline, anxiously waiting. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Olive. A breaking ball for ball number 2. Evens up the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Shane Taylor waits on deck. Matt Olive, a solo home run just 1 inning ago. His second hit of the season. On 2-2 from Ruff. The pitch is up and in. Count is full. The Mallards waiting to spill out of the dugout. An anxious Witter Field crowd. Here comes the payoff from Rashad. The pitch home just misses an inch low. Rashad wanted strike 3. He didn't get it. And here comes the tying run to the plate in the 9th inning. I mean, that pitch was right there. So now Shane Taylor against Rashad Ruff. Runners on first and second base. He needs 1 more out to shut out the Rafters. First pitch swinging, and it's fouled off to the third base side. There is a lot of power in this bat. 12 doubles and 7 home runs at Utah Tech. 3 home runs total hit today. The Mallards 2, Wisconsin Rapids 1. Leading by 3, 2 runners on base. The 0-1 pitch is in there for a called strike on the changeup. Good count for Rashad Ruff. Ty Johnson on second base. Matt Olive on first. Ruff comes set down at the belt. The 0-2 pitch. It's a tap foul. He just got a piece of the 0-2 changeup. The Mallards defense playing pretty straight up. Gupton deeper and left. Mikey Kluska holding on the runner at second base. Jake Goolsby, the first baseman, hugging that first base line. No balls, 2 strikes. Mallards by 3. 2 runners on base. The pitch home. Just missed the inside corner. Back-to-back batters now that Rashad Ruff almost had a backwards K to end this ball game. He looks back towards second. Now on 1-2. Pitch outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Waiting on deck is Piedmont's Kyle Carlson. 2 runners on base. Rashad Ruff in a 2-2 count. 2 away. Bottom of the 9th inning. 8-5 Madison. Looks home. The pitch on 2-2 is low. Fills up the count. 3 balls and 2 strikes. They have been 1 pitch away from winning this ball game in 2 different at-bats. Rashad Ruff stares home. Canyon Brown steps up. 3 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch. Runners on the move. It's popped up. Left side. Keenan Taylor sprinting into foul territory, and it will land out of play. A long, anxious bottom of the 9th inning for the Mallards defense. Count is full. This will be pitch number 31 of the inning. It comes home. That's popped up left center field. The shortstop Kluska ranging back. He will make the catch in shallow left center field. And for the first time in 723 days, the Madison Mallards have beaten the Wisconsin Rapids Rafters here at Witter Field. It has been a long time coming for this handshake for Donnie Scott with Kirk Schreider, as the Rafters beat the Mallards all 12 times a season ago, and the Mallards begin the season series with the Rafters 1-0 here in Wisconsin Rapids. The Mallards celebrate on the mound, and they jump back to over 500 after being swept by Lakeshore. A 4-3 record on the season for the Mallards and a 2-5 one for the Wisconsin Rapids Rafters. We will come right back with a short pregame, postgame when we return on your home of Madison Mallards baseball. Final score from Witter Field here in Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin. Madison 8, Wisconsin Rapids 5. And the Mallards defense certainly made everybody hold their breath there in the 9th inning as the bases were pretty much full of Rafters for the entire inning. A leadoff walk to Brandon Rogers. Ty Johnson singled. Matt Olive a walk with runners on first and second base and 2 away. A long duel with Rashad Ruff and Shane Taylor eventually ends in a pop-out as Mikey Kluska, the shortstop, ranged back and made a catch over his left shoulder to end the ball game. Today's winning pitcher for the Mallards is Derek Salata. He improves to 2-0 on the season. And the losing pitcher for Wisconsin Rapids was the starting pitcher, Jackson Wentworth, who went 3 innings, allowed 10 hits, 7 runs, 3 of them earned, 1 walk, and 3 Ks. Well, the big reason the Mallards won today's ball game was in the top of the 3rd inning. After a 1-1 tie in the 2nd, the 3rd inning and the 6 runs made for the longest offensive inning of the season so far for Madison. It began with Jake Holcroft, who made his debut today. He singled and advanced around the base paths after a single by Keenan Taylor. 2 wild pitches later, Jake Holcroft came across to give Madison a 2-1 lead. And immediately, after a strikeout of Jackson Chatterton from Jackson Wentworth, Isaiah Jackson hit the Mallards' first home run of the season, 2-run style. And then he went back-to-back with Corbin Dickerson to give the Mallards a 5-1 lead. Jake Goolsby doubled, Canyon Brown singled. A single later in the inning by Michael Gumpton in his debut. That scored a run. Then the lineup card flipped over again, and Jake Holcroft doubled. The Mallards, they also had to hold their breath when Wesley Oswald entered the game in the top of the 6th inning in relief of Derek Salata. He walked, the bases loaded. Will Simmons entered. The first batter he faced off against was Piedmont's Kyle Carlson. A single up the middle scored 2 runs to cut into the Mallards' lengthy lead to make it 7-3. And then Simmons, boy, did he settle in. A fly out to shallow right field, and then 2 strikeouts of Hugo and the leadoff man Rogers put away the side in the 6th. The Mallards would pick up 1 more run in the ball game, and it was needed when Mikey Kluska singled his first base hit of the season, advanced around the base paths on wild pitches, and then Keenan Taylor sacrificed him home in the top of the 8th inning. The Mallards would load the bases in the 9th but would not score. Wisconsin Rapids, a solo home run from Matt Olive in the 8th, and then that pretty long top of the 9th inning, 32 pitches from Rashad Ruff, a leadoff walk, a single, then a bouncing ball out for the first out of the inning, an RBI for Basir, and then a backwards K of Chris Conniff, a walk of Matt Olive, brought the tying run to the plate with Shane Taylor, and he popped out to the Mallard shortstop Kluska to end things. Final score here tonight, Mallards 8, Wisconsin Rapids Rafters 5. The Mallards' first win here at Witter Field in 723 days. A losing streak of 14 to the Rafters is finally over in their first matchup of the season. Signing off tonight, one more game from Witter Field in Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin, before the Mallards head over to Kenosha for one game and then finally back home to Warner Park, ending this 6-game road trip. Signing off, my name's Zach Linfield. Good night, everybody, and talk to you tomorrow.